Hello there guys, and welcome back to another update video with myself, Foorun. Now today we're going to be taking a look at what is coming in the update on the 22nd of September 2016. Now the first big thing I have for you today guys is changes to building blocked areas. As you may notice, I'm stood right next to a tool cupboard, but I am not building blocked. So the way the tool cupboard now works is if you are not building privileged on the tool cupboard, you will see no building blocked message down in the right hand corner as you previously would. The only way that you'll be able to see this is if you pull out a building plan hammer or a deployable. So if we take out the building plan here to go and try and place something, we'll now see that we are building blocked. Same applies to the hammer, and the same applies if you were trying to place any deployable item. If you pull out a weapon, however, or any other item that's not deployable, you will see that we cannot see that we are not building privileged. On the flip side of this, if you are building privileged anywhere within the building privilege zone, you will always see the message regardless of what you have out at the time. Now, along with this change, you can now no longer build within a building privilege zone even when you are outside of it. So if we just run over to the edge of the building zone, you can now see that I cannot place this because it is inside a building privilege. Works just there, not over there. The next update that I have for you guys is changes to revive. Now, a lot of people were having issues when their friend was downed. They'd look down, start reviving them, and then because they're rolling around on the floor, the revive would stop and you'd have to start again from nothing. Now, that was a real problem, especially in gunfights. So, this has now been changed. If you do slightly drop your line of sight on your friend, it will not completely reset your progress back to 0. You just need to get your line of sight back and it will continue working. The next thing I have for you guys is grass displacement. Now, you may have issues when you drop something in the grass and you can't find it because it's awkward to look through. This was something that you could previously do, but now they've made it a hell of a lot easier. So all you need to do now is open up your settings, go over to graphics, and go down here and you'll have grass displacement. Just turn that on, and now as you can see, some of the grass has disappeared from underneath me. So if I just run along, you can see the grass just moving around as I run through it. So this has previously worked, but the way you had to go about adding it into your game was going through the game files and adding it into the config. If you've already previously done this, when you come back into the game, grass displacement will still be on for you. If you've never done this, you've never used grass displacement, it will be default turned off, as they are still messing around with it slightly and doing some testing. So if you want it on, make sure you go and turn it on. The system has been completely rewritten as to how it previously was, so it is now a lot smoother and it isn't quite as laggy for some people. And then the last thing I have for you guys that is coming in this week's update is hopefully a fix for crashing when changing servers. There's been a real issue, meaning that you have to restart your game every time you want to switch to a different server, but hopefully this will be now fixed in today's update. And now the next things that I have for you guys are not going to be coming in this week's update. They are things that have been added over the past week and hopefully will be coming next month, possibly the month after. So firstly, we have the lighthouse. We've had some slight interior changes again in the lighthouse. I have already had a look in there and there's nothing more to show you further to the last time I went and looked in there. We also have the loot spawn setup completely changed for the lighthouse, so they know how they're going to be putting the loot in there. But sadly nothing is spawned in there, so I can't show you this either. And then next we have a load of good things coming for caves. Now they've been doing a lot more work over on the natural cave system. It's starting to look very promising, and here are some of the big things that they have done this week. We now have gravel models. They've been added in, so there is going to be some form of gravel. I can imagine this is going to be possibly some like little rock slide sort of things, just to give some nice aesthetics to the cave system. We also have cave roots and ivy models, which I can only assume are going to be roots from trees above ground, possibly coming out the side of the walls, along with ivy possibly dropping down here and there. We've also had gold and uranium ore veins. Their models have been implemented and it is a work in progress. Unsure of quite what the gold will be used for, possibly for some electronic parts, but you'd have thought that we'd get copper as well. And the uranium, if you don't know quite what uranium is, it is what is used in real life to power nuclear, like power plants and stuff like that. So it is a high source of energy. So we may see something coming in with that. That will be very interesting to see how they implement this into the actual game in terms of using it. And then the last good thing that we have for caves are glowworms. Now we've had glowworms textures and test models added. So I can imagine this is going to be a nice little natural light source down in those caves so that we can see what's going on a little bit better. Plus, I can only imagine it will look absolutely amazing. Now, if you would like to follow a bit more closely on what is being added with the caves, then make sure you go and follow Rust Updates over on Twitter. The developers post every single thing that they add into the game, whether it be in the main branch, pre-release branch, or any other branch, straight onto this Twitter, so you can see everything that's going on as it goes on. But that is everything from me today then, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you hit that like button, and if you would like to see more content, then make sure that you subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.